Hello. I would like for you to consider taking your daughter out of school. I am requesting that you quickly make a decision. I believe this way we can avoid any issues.
Mr. Lucas, you're Jace's homeroom teacher, right? What's going on? The fact that you went out of your way to ask Jace for my contact. I'm very concerned.
As I said, I would like for you to take your daughter out of school. I heard that you are a single mother. It must be difficult to pay for school as a single mother, am I correct? Just as a reminder, our school is a well-known private academy.
Yes, of course I am aware of the school's ranking. Why are you saying that single mothers can't pay for school?
Families that don't have a husband are inherently broken. Our school's tuition fees are much greater than you think. I don't want you to come crying to me later about this.
How did you come to this conclusion? We are more than able to continue paying for the tuition. And it is not your right to label single mothers as poor.
A similar situation happened in the past. A single mother wanted to show off and enrolled her child at this school. She wasn't able to pay for the tuition fees and ended up leaving. It was a very difficult task for me to handle.
Something like that happened, huh? I can see why it would be difficult to handle. But you can't assume that every single mother is the same.
I used to not take this stuff seriously in the past. I also thought the same thing as you. But because of those assumptions, I ended up putting myself in an awful situation. That's why you should take your daughter and leave before things get worse.
I don't think you've done this yet, but... Did you say anything to Jace?
I haven't told her anything. I wanted to tell you first. If you'll quietly do what I tell you to do, then I won't make a big deal out of it.
I can't believe you really assumed that we would just leave like that.
There's something off about children who are raised by single mothers. Many of them end up having twisted personalities.
Did you see that with your own eyes? Or are you simply labeling single mothers once again with your delusions?
It's because you're a single mother you would say something like that. But I am basing my words off the truth. After dealing with single mothers and their children, this is something I have come to realize. It's primarily because of my past experiences I am coming to you with such statements.
I find it difficult to believe that I'm hearing such words from an educator like yourself. Are you sure you're in the right mind to be teaching students?
What are you saying? It's exactly because of the fact that I'm in the position of teaching students that I'm able to say such things. I have to objectively look at things.
I don't understand why you think single mothers can't pay for tuition. You keep going on about this. Wouldn't it make more sense to contact them if the person actually became incapable of paying?
If I waited until they ran out of money, then it would be too late. I want to deal with the issue before it gets to that point. Excuse me, but how old are you?
What? What does my age have to do with this conversation?
I can feel the age difference between us when I read your messages. People these days are so stubborn. I went out of my way to give you this opportunity to quit going to my school. It's in your best interest to accept my offer.
Excuse me?
I have a few words to say about your daughter, too. Jace is extremely stubborn and doesn't try to get along with the kids around her. As I expected of the daughter of a single mother. She hasn't learned how to properly communicate. Her social skills are inferior to others.
What the hell are you saying? How dare you talk about my daughter like that?
I'm simply giving you my thoughts as an unbiased third person. But I think I understand the situation even more now after talking to you. Considering the fact that Jace has a mother who can't understand this basic conversation. I'm not surprised that she acts out in class.
Watch your tone. I've had enough. I will talk to Jace. We'll be in touch.
I understand. I have given you my advice. You have 1 week to decide.
I'll think about it. Hey, Jace. Sorry for bothering you while you're out with friends. But I need to talk to you about your teacher. Do you have a few minutes?
Yes, sure. What's going on? Did Mr. Lucas say something to you?
How does Mr. Lucas treat his students? Do you think he's a good teacher?
Nope, not at all. I hate him. He discriminates against certain students.
Really? How does he treat you?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really want to mention this. But there was one time in class when he suddenly started insulting you.
What?
He was talking about how much of a shame it is to raise a child without a father. How disappointing you must be to not be able to fix your relationship with your husband. He told the whole class not to end up like that.
Excuse me? What the heck? Are you serious?
Yes, he tried to make it into a big joke. I tried to brush it off and laughed along a bit. My classmates did the same thing as me.
I can't believe it. I'm so sorry this happened to you, Jace. I won't let him get away with this.
It's okay. I don't care what he says to me. I know that you already do a lot of things for me. It's best to just ignore these kinds of pathetic people. You're the one who taught me that.
That's right, but I mean, it's great that you think this way. But if something is bothering you, then it's important to speak up about it. It's important to share your feelings and thoughts.
Yes, I know. Whatever happens, I never want to become an adult like him. That's for sure.
I see.
But did you know that there's actually another person in my class who was also being raised by a single mom? She gets treated really well by Mr. Lucas, though. I don't know why she gets special treatment.
Wait, really? I wonder why.
I can try asking her tomorrow. She might talk to me about it. Depending on what she says. Mr. Lucas might finally get disciplined for his actions.
I'm glad we think the same thing. Proud of you, daughter. All right, I'm counting on you then. Thank you for being so dependable.
No problem. Let's talk again soon. Have fun with your friends, okay?
It's been a week. Your time is up. Have you made your decision?
Well, aren't you persistent? I wonder who's the pathetic one now.
Wow, so cold. You're so immature. You're not a kid anymore. But it doesn't matter what you say anymore. The results won't change. Remember to handle the paperwork for your daughter by the end of the day.
Do you know who I am?
Do I look like I care? I'll play along with you. You're a single mother who failed to remarry and is now living a pitiful life. So yes, I'm pretty sure I know who you are.
I didn't fail to find another husband. I simply didn't want one. It's true that I'm a single mother.
Wow, suddenly getting all high and mighty now? Keep your sad little excuses to yourself. I don't need them. Listen up, all right? You better go and take your daughter out of my school if you know what's good for you.
I wonder who's going to be the one leaving school today.
Excuse me? Are you sleep-talking or something?
I'm the chairman of the school board. I've already informed the principal of our conversation.
What? What are you talking about?
I wanted to maintain an amicable relationship with you because my daughter is enrolled in your class. I didn't want to have to report the situation. But you really left me no choice. The principal is my aunt.
What? No, you're lying. You guys don't even have the same last name.
I'm being serious. Just because we don't have the same last name doesn't mean we're not relatives. I've screenshotted our entire conversation and sent it to the principal. I expect that you'll be packing your bags soon.
Hold on a second. This is all too sudden. How am I supposed to wrap my head around everything? I haven't said anything wrong, though.
You really think you haven't said anything wrong up until this point?
But I really did deal with an incident involving a single mother in the past. And that was super difficult for me. It's obvious that single mothers are poor. They can't raise their children effectively. I'm doing this on behalf of the school's reputation. All I'm doing is trying to protect the school.
Did any of your supervisors tell you to do this? Obviously not. This was entirely done based on your own discretion.
I mean, that may be right, but I just don't want to have to deal with another incident like the one in the past again.
Your actions are bringing down the school's reputation. Are you aware of this?
Yes, that may be true. But I still don't believe I am at fault for anything.
Oh, really? All right then, let's talk about your discriminatory actions toward students. Do you also believe that you are not at fault for this?
Huh? What are you talking about?
This is in regards to your comments toward students. Many have complained about how prejudiced and unfair you are during class. It seems like you also have another student who is being raised by a single mother.
And so what about her?
After you contacted me with your unreasonable demands, I talked to my daughter. My daughter didn't even need to say it out loud for me to understand just how frustrated she felt about the situation. I asked my daughter to do me a favor. I told her to speak to the other student I mentioned.
Wait. Are you talking about Jenny?
Yes, Jenny. Unexpectedly, Jenny came to us with full-fledged cooperation.
What? What do you mean she cooperated?
She told us some interesting news. It seems like you're romantically involved with Jenny's mother.
That's not true. This is a complete lie.
Jenny was crying while she told her story. She said she felt so ashamed that she couldn't tell anyone the truth. No wonder you were giving Jenny special treatment.
No, that was never my intention.
I would only treat her nicely sometimes. She doesn't approve of your relationship with her mother and feels extremely uncomfortable when you treat her better than the other students. Other students spoke out against you as well.
What do you mean? All I ever wanted to do was act accordingly with my students' expectations of me. We get along very well. They even laugh at my jokes.
Oh, you mean those offensive jokes of yours? The ones where you make fun of single mothers? The students hated them.
What? How would you know?
Whenever you made those jokes at my daughter's expense, her classmates would comfort her after class. They would reach out and show her support. Your students are far more mature than you will ever be.
Did that actually happen? You should believe me, though. I've always had the students' best interests in mind.
You went ahead and decided the single mothers were poor and couldn't raise children. Did you really think that it was a good idea to laugh at someone else's expense?
I mean, it depends on the situation.
Something interesting is happening. At the very least, it seems like none of the students are on your side. Would you like to take a look at the messages you just received?
Messages? What's going on? The principal is blowing out my phone.
Oh, really now? I wonder if it's because you're getting fired. Unfortunately, it looks like being a teacher isn't the right job for you.
Wait, what the hell is this? I just got a notification on social media. Students expose teachers' hateful actions.
Sounds about right. I don't know all the details, but it looks like the students took matters into their own hands. Now everyone will know everything you did wrong.
Please stop them. I will take back my words. If this keeps going on, my future will be ruined.
You tried to destroy my daughter's future. But you ended up destroying only yours. The world doesn't need a malicious teacher like you who keeps shoving their own prejudices down other people's throats. Don't you dare to try to teach ever again. Following that, Mr. Lucas was summoned to the principal's office and promptly dismissed. Even the rest of the teachers loathed him intensely. Jace and her classmates were acclaimed as heroes at the school. The news about Mr. Lucas spread like wildfire on the internet. As a consequence of the incident, he was permanently barred from teaching again. I hope Mr. Lucas acknowledges his mistakes and undergoes personal growth to.
Hi, Monica. We need to talk. Text me right back when you got the message.
Lizzie. How are you doing? What can I help you, Mom?
Oh. You've replied. Thanks God. But what happened with your work?
I'm actually in the middle of work now. But I'm just taking a quick coffee break. I thought I'd reply back since it seemed a bit urgent. So what is this all about?
Well, that's funny. I was under the assumption that you had finally submitted your resignation letter or something. I thought you would have quit your job.
Well, I do like my job here. So why do you text me?
Well, I do expect you to do as you're told, seeing as you're my daughter-in-law. If I tell you to reply to my text messages, I expect an immediate reply. If I tell you to cook for me, then you'd cook for me right away. Isn't that what respecting your in-laws is all about?
Right. So, is there something you want to tell me?
By the way, let me tell you something I heard on a TV show the other day.
Okay.
So apparently, young people these days have a sneaky way of reading text messages without having to actually read the text. Have you ever heard of that?
I'm not so sure.
Meaning that the recipient will be able to read the text without the sender finding out. I suppose it's so that the sender won't be bothered if they get a late reply. Well, I can't think of any other reason as to why anyone wouldn't reply to a text immediately, but to each their own.
Oh, I know that trick.
Well, I'm glad that you're not the type of person to do that.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
Sorry for going off track. I just forget things in a split second even during mid-conversation. So I'm actually at your house at the moment.
Really? What are you doing there? Is Peter with you?
Actually, Peter is at work now. So I'll wait till he gets home. I know Peter tells me he's fine on the phone, but you never really know how someone's doing until you've seen and spoken to them in person, right? So I just come over and see how he is doing. I hope that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you come round to the house at least every month. So it'll be weird if you stopped coming over. Anyway, what can I do for you here? Did you want to ask me something?
Oh, I didn't know that it was a problem for me to see my son.
Oh, no. I didn't mean it like that. I can absolutely understand how worried you'd be when your son is not in your sight. If I were you, I would be worried too.
Peter is my beloved son. I'd fall sick if I don't see him for even just a day. Once you have children, you will understand, Monica.
Yeah.
By the way, do you plan to have a baby?
Oh, what's that?
Oh.
I went off track again. Sorry.
I think you texted me to either ask me something or.
That's right.
I'm all ears.
What time are you coming home tonight?
Let me check my planner. Hold on a second. Okay, I should be home at around 6:30 p.m. tonight. Would you like to stay at ours for dinner?
Oh.
No need to worry about that. I'll cook for all of us tonight.
Oh, thank you so much. My husband loves your dishes you cook.
Yeah.
But I need you to buy something before you come home. Is that okay?
Sure. What do you need?
First, 5 kilograms of cheese.
What? 5 kilograms?
Yes, why not?
Do you really need much cheese to cook for dinner?
Yeah.
Just buy what I say. Second, 5 kilograms of pasta.
I think these are too much for 3 of us.
Don't be silly. I have my way of cooking.
So, you really need all of that?
What are wrong with you? If I didn't, why I have to ask you to buy?
But what do you need it for? Because it doesn't sound like you need all of that for just a meal for 3 people.
Well, you're right about that. I'd be crazy to have all of that for just a family meal.
Then what are they for?
It's to give to my neighbors as Christmas gifts.
Christmas gifts?
Yes. I have no idea what some of them need or want. And I don't intend to overthink it since they're just for my neighbors. Anyone could use more cheese and pasta, right? So it's a perfect idea for a gift. Do you think so?
Yeah, I see.
I did that last Christmas and everyone seemed to love it. Don't worry, dear. Just get them for me and that'll be all right.
Okay. But by the way, is there a specific brand or type of cheese you want me to get?
Feel free to choose whichever one you like. I don't mind that. Oh, I almost forgot. Could you also get 10 cans of chopped tomatoes? Choose whichever one is the cheapest.
Okay, pasta and cheapest can of chopped tomatoes.
And get around 20 empty cardboard boxes.
20 boxes?
Yeah.
Thanks, darling. You're a sweetheart.
Lizzie? What is all this?
What?
What's all this in front of the house? These pile of boxes and bags with things inside.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, could you come and open the door, please? My hands are full and you've got to see this for yourself.
Oh, I can't, darling. I'm a bit tied up here.
Okay, well now I've looked inside and a lot of these things are mine. In fact, they're all mine. Who did this?
I honestly have no idea. I just remember throwing out some trash. Were they yours? Oh, I'm sorry, Monica. Peter and I thought they were all trash, so we just put them all out.
Trash? What the heck are you doing?
Excuse me? What is it with all of the profanity all a sudden?
No, it's not all of a sudden. I've been nice to you all these years. But this is the last straw. No more playing nice to you. I've had enough with your harassment.
Well, if you are going to be that way, let me tell you something. I'll let you know how much I've hated your guts. I never liked you since Pete introduced me to you. So it's about time you got what you deserved. I knew Peter should have never married a foolish woman like you.
Me? Am I the one who threw all of someone's things out on the streets? No. That's you.
See? That filthy mouth of yours. I hope it hasn't rubbed off onto Peter as well. You are a terrible influence on him.
I'm the terrible influence? How about you for being the big old cockalorum?
What? Please don't be so dramatic. All I'm saying is that ever since Pete married you, he hardly comes to visit me at my house. And then over the past year we've started spending some more time together for some reason. And I realized that all this time you were the one holding him back from seeing me.
A year ago? Right, well that makes sense.
How does that make sense? What do you mean?
Oh, never mind.
This is you. You're pulling the strings behind my back. Torturing me. Keeping my son away from me. Those boxes are there so that you can move out of this house and leave me and my family alone.
What? Are you being serious?
When are you ever going to get it into your head that a wife is to stay at home and be a good housewife? But look at you. Always talking about work and work. As if you don't have a family to take care of. Poor Peter. He looks after him while you're at work.
What? He's a 38-year-old man. He's perfectly capable of taking care of himself on his own. Besides, what kind of conservative values do you have? Maybe in your days, you had to be a boring stay-at-home wife. But if you step outside into the real world, things are way different. You're way behind. Most married couples have jobs. It's called having a double income. Ever heard of it?
Well, that doesn't explain why you have to be so ugly.
Excuse me?
That's right. Had you been slightly prettier or even nice to look at? I wouldn't have to say this out loud, but look at you. There's nothing in you that makes people want to get to know you. There's nothing in you that would make people compliment you. Elle can't believe that my handsome son is married to an ugly cow like you.
How superficial and materialistic can you be? And you think you're one to talk? Who do you think you are?
Well, you clearly don't even have any talents either. The meals you cook are always mediocre at best. The housework is never done perfectly. What kind of man would want to be with someone like you? So take those boxes with you and leave us alone. And the cheese and pasta and everything else that you brought back. I will tell Peter to get divorced with you.
What? Divorce?
Yes. You can never step inside our house. But if you are about to beg me, I'll tell you that. Peter will hold off on the divorce if you change your attitude and become a better wife to him.
What? Peter? That idiot of a husband who earns chump change?
How dare you speak about my son like that? Let alone your husband. You're crazy.
It's funny though, Lizzie. Your Peter's always been a mama's boy. I thought he'd grow some balls once we got married. But clearly he hasn't. I can't imagine living with him for the rest of my life. So I'll happily divorce him. Let me get rid of him along with the house. That's what I call killing two birds with one stone.
Hold on a second. Selling the house? Why would you do that? Are you insane?
This house is mine. My grandparents refurbished it. What made you think it belonged to Peter with his income? No way he can afford to live here.
What? That can't be true. He told me it was his house.
You can ask him again. Maybe this man forget the most important part. Your son earns less than his wife and he's a liar. Are you proud of him?
How dare you?
By the way, you may move out of the house now. You better move out of my house. This house is already up for sale. So it won't be too long till the new owner takes over. It'll take just about a month till the new owner gets the key to the house.
A month? How do you expect us to find a place and move out in a month? Since when did you put the house up for sale?
Since I found out that you and Peter were trying to sabotage me. You're not as loved by your family as much as you think you are, Lizzie.
What do you mean?
Let's just say that I had a helping hand.
Who is that?
To know this, you'd better ask you husband?
My husband? Why is he involved in these things?
Father-in-law is a very kind person. It's him who told me about your plan to force me away my house.
What? What a jerk.
Don't say that. I will bring father-in-law to live with me. You always look down on him, he never needs a wife like you. So, now. Move away my house. Pack your things and leave my house, you cow.
Is that why you were acting so weird earlier? All of those weird, strange reactions you were giving, it's because you knew what was coming? And you were hiding it from me?
Oh, that was fun trying to wind you up. And you know what? I even bought anything at supermarket. No can, no box, and no cheese.
You.
Don't make me say it again. Pack up and leave.
What? Why all these things happen all of a sudden? I can't get it.
You spoil Peter to be a mama boy. And these all things are the outcome you got. You guys are meant to stay together longer. Good luck.
Monica. I'm not done with you yet. I never forgive you.
Since that conversation with Lizzie, I blocked her. I just thought I should block her anyway just to avoid having any contact with her. My father-in-law apparently gets the gossip about them from the old neighbors. According to that, my ex-husband Peter, he's been fired from his job. And it looks like he's struggling to find a new one. Lizzie got part-time work at the serving customers day and night. If only Lizzie had stopped being such a witch and Peter more loving, then this would have never happened. Despite having lost my marriage, at least I have my kind father-in-law. Let's see how long they can last before they try to look for me and come crying to me for help.
Iris, we need to talk now.
What's that?
How long do you plan on staying here? You're gonna have to leave eventually. Having to live with your parents at that age is super gross. Why are you still in this house?
Oh, so that's why you text me? Why are you asking me about this out of the blue?
I've been thinking about it for a long time, but I decided it was time I say something now. It's not good for you to still be living with your parents. You need to move out of here.
Well, my father was single for a while, so I didn't want to leave him alone.
That may have been the case before, but your father is living with me now. It would be much better for all of us if you get out of here now. He doesn't need you anymore.
That's true, but I think you misunderstood. I don't actually need to live with my father. I'm just here by choice.
Don't tell me that you have some kind of father complex, because that would be annoying and gross. Obviously, you're not here by choice. You're depending on your father for a place to live. So it's not a choice.
No, I really didn't mean it as a joke. I don't actually have to be here.
Whatever, you should probably know that your father and I are getting married. We're starting a new chapter of our lives, and the only thing in our way is you and all your stuff. We want to spend our time as newlyweds by ourselves in our beautiful home. We need you to get out.
Oh, I understand why you're telling me this now. You don't want me getting in your way, right?
Exactly, Iris. You catch on to things a lot quicker than I thought. I'm impressed since you get it. I'll need you to move your stuff out of here right now. We don't need you here ruining our new lives.
Moving out right now a bit of a sudden, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'm currently on a trip and I won't be home for a while. I can move all my stuff out once I get back. Can you give me another week before I move out? I promise I'll be out of your hair by then.
A trip? What are you going on a trip for? A shut-in like you is going traveling? That's ridiculous. You really are a pampered child. You get to live however you please without a care in the world for anyone else.
Okay, first of all, I'm not a shut-in.
How are you not a shut-in? You're living off your father. You don't have a job and you rarely ever leave the house. You probably do it on purpose, so you won't ever have to work. Even if you try to hide it, I have already figured you out.
It's true that I spend the majority of my time in the house, but I still go out. Also, I'm not relying on my father for money. I have my own job that I do from home.
A remote job? Come on, Iris. Do you think that makes you cool or something? You're a brat still living with your dad at an inappropriate age. You're a grown adult and it's time you start acting like one. Don't make up lies and excuses that can be easily seen through. You're not going to fool me like that.
But I wasn't lying though. I'm telling the truth. I'm going on a work-related trip today. It's very important.
Yeah, I bet you are. Where are you going anyway? A comic convention? Is that what shut-ins call work? And you need to know that. Hobbies aren't work, in case you didn't know. Video games and junk food aren't going to make you money.
Well, I do think that there are many hobbies that you could turn into work, even video games. Maybe that's not something you would believe.
Hey, are you trying to imitate your father?
Imitate my father? Where did that come from? What do you mean by that?
You're always wearing fitted suits that seem to be tailored. I know those suits. They're just like the expensive suits that he likes to wear.
Oh, you mean the suits that he wears on dates? We do wear similar kinds. We both like to be very careful with our appearance whenever we go out.
Of course, he does. I guess it makes sense when you would want to copy him. Since he says he's self-employed, he must be earning a good amount of money.
Huh? He says what now?
It makes perfect sense. I mean, if you didn't, you wouldn't be able to live in a house like this.
That's not necessarily true.
It's the only explanation. That's why I decided to marry him.
What exactly do you mean by that?
If he can live in a house like this, then of course I had to marry him. Living in a place like this has always been my dream. It's even better if I don't have to work to do. I'm certain I'll be able to live a life of elegance like I was destined to.
Don't tell me the only reason you're marrying my father is for the money?
Don't say such a horrible thing about me. I don't need other people hearing that. That's not it. I truly love your father, and he loves me back. That's what's getting us together. It's the power of love which allows us to get married.
The power of love?
After all, it's only with the power of love that I'll be able to drive you out of our house. But I guess if he didn't have any money, I wouldn't be getting married to him. So what you said is only about half true.
I had a feeling that was the case. Did you actually get to know my father, or did you decide to be with him because you think he makes a ton of money?
I don't know him that well, but it doesn't matter. As long as he'll let me live in luxury, I don't need to know him. We can get to know each other in our beautiful house. Going out with him while he's in those suits would be nice, don't you think? If he wants to be with me, he would have to do at least that. The only way someone would be able to get a beautiful woman like me is if they had a ton of money.
Why is that my father should be the one paying for your luxurious life as long as you're married?
Of course he should. That's his responsibility as a man. I hate stingy, cheap men. What good are you as a man if you don't make enough money for your wife to live in luxury?
Is that so?
Him having a child from a previous marriage isn't ideal, of course, but I was prepared for you. I thought that once we got married you would get out of the house, but you're still here.
Did you say that to my father?
No, I didn't say that to him, but something like that should be common sense.
Well, I don't really understand the idea of driving out the child of the person you're married to. Once you're married, their child should become someone you both care for.
That's not how it works. If we're going to live together, he has to first drive out the parasite.
I doubt many parents consider their children to be parasites. Is that really how you think of me?
What do you think is going to happen if I start living expensively now? I can't afford it if you're still leeching off his money. Stepmother plans to kick me out of my house, but she should know it's not that easy. I'm going to end this once and for all.
Are you at my house right now?
What do you mean? Your house? It's not your house! It's my house!
My stuff is still in there. Are you going to just throw it outside? You can't kick me out so suddenly.
Do you not understand? Do you know what it means to get married? We're supposed to be living together. The only thing in the way of that is you. I'm not listening to you if you ask to live with us. That's going to end today.
I've been living in that house for a long time now, and you just barely knows my father and only dating him for the money. You thinks it's okay to kick me out without notice?
Did you not understand what I said? I'm not going to listen to an uneducated stepchild like you. You have no idea how the world works. I've thrown out your stuff if you want to come and pick it up off the street. This is my house now.
Well then go ahead and pay me $2,000 every month.
What are you saying? Are you insane?
In case you didn't know, the house is not paid off yet. It costs $2,000 a month if you want to live there. That's what you'll have to pay.
Okay. That amount isn't a big deal. Your father can earn a lot more than that.
Really, Carla? You think my father can afford that money without having a job?
What do you mean by that?
You can't read English or what?
Wait a minute. What are you trying to say? There's no way your father doesn't have a job. He must be making a ton of money. He is always wearing those expensive suits.
Those are the suits that my mother left him with when she died. My mother was a businesswoman who made a good amount of money.
There's no way I would believe something like that. You're definitely lying. Why are you living in this fancy house, then, if he wasn't the one who paid for it?
My mother was the one who bought this house. My father didn't pay a single penny. Even if he wanted to, he couldn't afford it. My mother was always the one taking care of us ever since I was born.
If he really doesn't have any money, then how have you guys been paying the mortgage?
Until now, I've been the one paying the mortgage.
No way, that's not at all possible. There's no way a shut-in like you could pay for this place.
You really don't listen to anything anyone says, do you? That's a bad habit of yours. I told you already I work from home. That means that I do my work in my house. I don't need to leave the house every day to make money.
Really? Are you telling the truth?
Why do you think I'm lying?
If you don't have to go out to work, then what trip are you on right now?
I'm going to meet with my suppliers in another state. And I make use of this trip to be partially a break from work.
Wait a second. Does that mean you've really been the one paying the mortgage every month?
That's right. I'm the one who has been covering it every single month.
Then you must be making a decent amount of money. Okay, I knew it. I've changed my mind. You can stay in the house. You should have just said that from the beginning, dear. If I knew all this, I wouldn't say these stuffs.
All right, you don't have to worry about it. I won't be returning.
What? Isn't this your house?
Not anymore. Things have changed.
Nothing has changed. You can't leave now. You've been living in this house for a long time.
But you've already thrown out all my stuff, haven't you?
Well, that's true.
I had a feeling you were going to do that. So I went ahead and bought a high-rise apartment.
A high-rise? How can you afford that?
I've been saving money for a while. Now I've already moved most of my belongings into the new place. The stuffs left in the old house were things that I don't need anymore. Thanks to you, I don't have to worry about it anymore. I'm glad I don't have to waste time on that anymore.
Then what are you going to do about the mortgage at this house?
At first I thought that I would continue paying the mortgage, but it seems like I don't need to anymore.
Hold on. Why aren't you going to keep paying?
Well, you're the one who told me to get out of the house. You even threw out my stuff. So it's not like I could go back there now. You two get to live together at that beautiful house all by yourselves just like you wanted. Since I won't be paying for it anymore, I'll leave the payments to you. I'm sure you can handle it.
Wait for a second. I didn't know any of this. I didn't know there was a mortgage on this house. So it's not fair to leave me to pay for it. I thought your father was a business owner.
I'm actually the owner of a business. I've been running it for some years. You are so sure that I was just a shut-in with no job. But it turns out that your husband is the real jobless one.
I can't believe this. I was supposed to live in luxury for the rest of my life.
I've been the long giving you the money to live the luxurious life you've had all this time. Although I didn't think you would waste all the money on fancy stuff so you could look good. I think you even said that you wanted more money recently. This must be the worst case scenario for you.
This can't be. What's going to happen to the wealthy lifestyle I've been living? It's going to be pretty difficult for you to continue living like that.
Now that you don't have any more money coming in, I guess you two will have to work to pay off your expenses.
There's no way I'm doing that. I would never work again after getting married. I already planned on being taken care of for the rest of my life.
Oh, that is really close if I don't leave that house. I would have been stuck taking care of you two for the rest of my life. That would be a complete waste of my money. Thank you so much for driving me out of there.
Please come back to the house. I'm begging you. This is not at all what I was expecting. I thought I could afford to live this luxurious lifestyle.
Do you consider your life luxurious now? Probably not, since it appears that you will have to pay the mortgage on your own.
There's no way I can pay $2,000 a month. I don't have that kind of money. Do you expect me to go on unemployment?
I don't know, and I don't care either. It's not my concern anymore. So you two can work together to live and save each other as husband and wife.
I'm sorry, Iris. I didn't mean any of what I said before. I was in the wrong. I didn't mean it. Please. Help me pay the mortgage.
I'm supposed to pay the mortgage of a house that I'm not living in, aren't I? That sounds ridiculous.
There's no way I would pay for that.
That's not my responsibility. I'm so glad I don't have to pay anymore. It's such a weight off my shoulders. Have a good time in your dream home?
I don't want to have to work. I already quit my job.
I'm sure you have some old acquaintances from your last job that can help you. Although if you couldn't do the work they asked you to, then they probably got angry with you. I wouldn't be surprised if they were glad when you left.
Why you know all of that?
When you told me you quit your job, I was genuinely surprised. I was wondering why you would quit your job, but my dad was unemployed. I was thinking that you got married because you planned on taking care of him. I thought you must be an amazingly strong person like my mother.
But I was the one who wanted to be taken care of.
Well, that's what turned out to be the case. It might be good if you could force my father to start working again. But it looks like you won't be able to make that much money with just him working. So it looks like the best solution is the both of you to start working.
Please don't say that. Do you really plan on throwing us away?
Who's the one who referred to me as a parasite? Don't you forget? Which one of us tried to throw out the other one first? It's amazing how you try to flip this onto me.
It's only because I didn't know any of this stuff.
I was unaware of things as well. I didn't know that I had become a parasite to you. I'm sure with the power of love, you'll be able to figure something out together.
No, I can't do that. Please, Iris. Don't do that.
Carla, I never change my mind. So, I don't have anything to say. I'm busy now, I have to go.
Don't, Iris.
I don't want to see your face again. Bye now. After that, my father and Carla had many various difficulties. My father even tried apologizing after a while, but she had blocked his number. Carla even suddenly tried to break into my new apartment, but I called the police and she got caught. They were forced to go out and look for work. Once they finally found part-time jobs, they were overworked and barely made enough money to cover living expenses. Because they were unable to pay the mortgage at the old house. So they were forced to move into a cheaper, more beat-up place. But it's none of my business anymore. I am now free from those toxic and enjoy my new life.
Alice, your food is terrible. Once again, I discarded it in the garbage.
Did you throw it all away? I haven't eaten yet.
If you're so eager to consume it, feel free to retrieve it from the trash and indulge yourself. To a piece of trash like you, it makes no difference whether it's on a plate or in the trash, does it?
What made you discard it without consulting me beforehand? I made the food for myself.
Such rubbish wouldn't even be devoured by a pig. If you want it so badly, go and get it.
You don't have to say it like that.
We're going out to eat. You can stay at home and make yourself more trash if you like.
Hold on! I used up all the ingredients I had to make that.
Yeah? So what?
There's nothing left in the house for me to eat. You threw it all away.
Well, if you don't want to eat from the trash, then you can go out on your own. Or would it be too sad and lonely to go eat out all by yourself? Especially in that stupid wheelchair of yours.
I don't mind going out alone. I just don't like eating out.
I don't care what you like and don't like to do. Why do I have to care about a useless disabled person like you? You don't even go to work or do any chores around the house. You should be grateful that we're paying for your expenses.
You're not really paying for my expenses. I'm paying all the expenses every month. I even told you before I work from home.
You're lying! A disabled person like you has no way of making money. You're useless! Anyways, have fun staying at home all alone with no food.
Well, I guess I'll get some delivery pizza then.
What? Don't go spending our money without our permission. That's my son's blood, sweat, and tears. Only my son, and I get to spend it.
I was going to use my money to pay for it anyways. Don't worry.
By the way, we're going on a trip next week.
Are you? Have fun. Are you going with your husband?
No, it's a family trip. Everybody's going.
Huh?
Well, everyone except for you, of course. Didn't Tony tell you?
No, he didn't say anything about it. What do you mean everyone in the family is going? Who's going?
It'll be me, my husband, and my son. Also, my daughter and her family are coming too. We're going to have fun without you since you'd be such a burden if you came along with us.
That's what I thought. You really hate me.
I didn't say anything like that now, did I? Don't put words into my mouth, young lady. We just don't have the time and energy to look after someone in a wheelchair. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry, but you'll have to stay home.
Fine. I'll stay. But can you please stop saying stuff like I'm useless or I'm a burden to the family? I have feelings too. It's not like I get to choose to be or not to be in a wheelchair.
So what? You think you're the only person who doesn't have choices. I didn't choose you to be in our family. I don't know why my son chose to be with you. I won't take back what I said. You really are a burden to this family.
You don't have to be so harsh on me. But now I understand. That's how you really feel about me.
I'm not the only one who feels this way about you.
Huh?
Tony regrets marrying you. Nobody wants you here anymore. Why are you still here?
Did Tony really say that about me?
Of course, why wouldn't he? That's why I'm helping him.
Helping him with what?
So that he can divorce you and find someone better. I'm helping him look for a new partner.
A new partner?
I really hope he finds someone soon. You should start packing your stuff to leave. Soon there will be no place for you here anymore.
You've been treating me like a housemaid. No, more like a slave. And yet you were planning to get rid of me all along. I see I'm no longer wanted here. Have fun at your family trip. A few minutes later. I heard you're going on a family trip this weekend. A family trip that everyone in the family is going on except for me.
Who told you that? My mom? I was going to tell you eventually.
Tell me what?
The hotel she reserved for the trip is not wheelchair friendly. So I'm sorry we can't take you with us this time.
You had no intention on bringing me along, did you?
What? No! Don't be silly. Come on, lighten up a bit.
Do you think I'm a burden too? Ever since your mom moved in to live with us, you started coming home late every night. You ignore everything I say about your mom. You've changed.
Do you really think I've changed? Well, a lot has been going on ever since she started living with us. I don't want to come back from work to just get even more tired seeing you and my mom fight.
So you don't care when your mom says horrible things to me?
That's not what I'm saying. I just want you to get along with each other. But your fights have got nothing to do with me. So leave me out of all that.
It has everything to do with you. She's living here with us because she's your mother.
Oh, shut up already. You're so annoying. It just makes it harder for us when you come on our trips because of your wheelchair. That's why my mom told you not to come, so what am I supposed to do?
So you do think I'm a burden?
Well, that's how everyone feels about wheelchairs. That's not something I can change.
Something you can't change. All right. Fine. That's enough. That was a lot of fun. I almost forgot how fun it is to go on trips when we're not held back by useless package like you. I'm so glad we left you at home. I told you that I make money on my own from home, and yet you keep saying that I'm useless? Why are you getting worked up so suddenly? You don't need to make up lies to try and win me over. It won't work. As if you can really make money on your own when you can't even walk using your own legs. It must be so much fun going on a trip while also looking down on me at the same time. Oh yeah! I'm having the time of my life. The trip was just so good without you. Well, good for you. Not that I really care. But good for you. I can't say this enough. The trip was a million times better without you and your stupid wheelchair. By the way, we're on the way back, so start making dinner so we have something to eat right away. I'm not there. Huh? I moved out and I'm not coming back. So I'm not cooking dinner for you. I'm not doing any house chores.
I'm not paying for anything anymore.
What? You left already? You're really not coming back? You could at least have said goodbye first. Who taught you your manners?
Aren't you happy that you'll get back from your family fun trip without having to ever see me again?
You're such a wuss for running away like this. Not that I care. Now Tony can focus on finding his new partner.
I could tell from the day I met you, but you're really a horrible person. Did you know that? I'll get divorced from Tony soon, so you don't have to worry about me getting in the way of finding your new daughter-in-law.
Oh, perfect, thanks. It would be such a pain if we had to get a lawyer involved to get rid of you.
We'll see about that. It's still up to you whether you're going to need a lawyer or not. I'm already getting prepared for it.
What? You're starting to talk nonsense, but I'll let you go. It doesn't really matter anyways. Don't you ever show up in our lives again with your stupid wheelchair.
I don't intend to. Goodbye.
Hey, you! What's all this about?
What are you fussing about?
Where's all the furniture? Where are all the electronics and everything we had in the house? Did you steal them?
What do you mean I stole them? I only took the things that belong to me.
What? Things that belong to you? Nothing in this house belonged to you. How did you move all the stuff out in just 2 days?
Well, I was getting tired of being in this house for a while now. So I was already ready to move out. Did you forget that you made us replace all the furniture and electronics because you thought they were too old and used up?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Especially your couch was so dirty and disgusting. It really needed replacing. But Tony also bought some of the stuff, didn't he? Give him back the things that belonged to him. Are you too stupid to understand that not everything belongs to you?
You're the one who's not understanding this.
What?
Your son didn't buy a thing.
What are you saying?
Tony got fired from his job. Now he's working at a minimum wage. Part-time.
He's working part-time?
He doesn't get paid vacation, nor does he get any of the benefits he had before. He uses up all his money on himself, so he's never bought anything for the house or for both of us to use. So I bought all the stuff that I took. I also paid for all the utilities in the house.
What? Then what has my Robert been doing with his free time?
Beats me. Maybe he was looking for a new partner like you said.
No way! I don't believe you. Give us back what belongs to Tony. I'll sue you. You thief.
Go ahead. I have proof that I bought it all myself. I keep all my receipts.
Do you really?
Yes, I told you I'm prepared. Do you get it now? I can take everything in that house. I bought every single thing with my money.
But Tony has been paying the mortgage for this house. It's not like he really spends it all on himself.
No. I've been paying the mortgage this whole time.
What? So you didn't know?
I never told you because I didn't want you to think less of your son. But I guess he was happy to make me seem like I was the useless one.
What? I don't get what you're saying.
You've been saying things like I'm useless and that I'm a burden to the family. But you know I ended up in a wheelchair because of Tony, don't you?
Because of Tony?
So you didn't know about that either. Well, I'd rather not get into that with someone like you anyway. I'm getting divorced, so let's just keep talking about money. I may be in a wheelchair, but I can work. I've made enough money and have plenty of savings to hire a lawyer. She'll be contacting you guys soon enough.
A lawyer? Why do you need a lawyer?
For the divorce, dummy. I'm going to make sure to take Robert for everything I can get. And to avoid having to respond to your crazy requests.
Why should he have to give you anything?
Because of you. You told me that he's looking for a new partner. So I made sure to get proof that he's cheating on me. Thanks to you, I'll be getting a lot of money from this divorce.
I can't believe you're doing this to us. There's no way we're paying you anything. Why would we ever do that?
Well, it's the law. We were a husband and a wife and he cheated on me while we were still married. I have the right to compensation.
What do you mean you have the right?
Anyways, shouldn't you stop wasting your time talking to me? And start looking for a job to start making some money?
What? Why do I have to look for a job?
Well, apparently your husband lost all of his savings on gambling.
What?
So he's been asking me to let him borrow some money.
He never told me that.
It seems that he's not working either. You really don't know much about your family, do you?
Were you trying to get close with my husband? Why do you know all that?
No. It's just that I was always home.
and I could hear everyone's phone conversations. Your conversations made me really worried to be a part of this family. I'm glad to be leaving it.
Hold on. Then what'll happen to us once you're gone? How are we gonna pay for the house? The expenses? The furniture and everything else we need?
That's why I said you should get a job. Good luck finding one. So I guess this is it. Don't ever try to contact me again. Goodbye. Sorry, I was so useless and a burden to you.
Upon discovering Alice's departure, the entire family became filled with panic. Maya managed to coax Tony into revealing all the things he had been concealing from her. Upon receiving legal notifications from Alice's attorney, the family experienced another wave of panic. Maya's husband abruptly resigned from his job without informing her and accumulated significant debt, resulting in complete chaos within the family. Tony and his father became furious with Maya for pressuring Alice to leave the house, while Maya was equally enraged with them for quitting their jobs without informing her. Although they were busy assigning blame to each other, it was clear that they were all at fault and had no one else to hold accountable.